All right, this question wants the main purpose, same as the main idea. Let's just look at the passage and see what we get. Jackie Orm's Torchy, Brown, and Dixie to Harlem was the first comic strip by a black woman to appear in a widely read newspaper. The strip tells the story of Torchy, a young woman who leaves Mississippi to become a performer in New York City. Torchy's story reflects the experience of the Great Migration, when millions of black Americans left the South in search of opportunities in other parts of the United States. Torchy Brown thus shows how Ormes used comics to comment humorously on issues affecting black Americans, which she continues to do throughout her career. So the main purpose of the text is to talk about the comic. Yeah, Torchy and the author. So one of the two. Let's see. A, to show how Ormez's Torchy Brown inspired other black women. There's that word other. Other people mentioned? No. Other black women to write comic strips? No, don't care. B, to illustrate how the subjects Ormez addressed in her comic strips changed over the course of her career. That sounds like time passing. Now, it doesn't really get into that, right? This is just a very general overview, maybe of kind of like, not even the beginnings of this thing, more just like, what was it, right? I don't even have, they do mention some years here, but they're not talking about changes over time. This just seems wrong. So yeah, let's get rid of it. To give an example of how Ormez presented the experiences of black Americans in her comic strips. Yeah, I don't know. An example though? I guess the example is this particular comic strip, maybe? And it's the example of the Great Migration? I don't know. I don't love this, but let's leave it in. It feels kind of true. D, to claim that several characters in Torchy Brown were based on people. No. Several characters, there's a quantifier. People that she knew personally? No, they don't say that at all. So there you go. Notice that I was kind of hemming and hawing over C and worrying about some potential problems with it when it went through the filter, right? It was kind of about the book, or the comic book. It was kind of about the author. Let it be. And then look at the other choices, and if they're all terrible, then it doesn't matter if C is not that great either. It's the best, right? It has to match, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just maybe I would have summarized this thing slightly differently, but that's why we don't bother coming up with a complicated summary, because the odds of our summary being there exactly is impossible. So we know that they're about to give us 4 summaries. We have a very vague one in our head, and then we're just trying to see if it matches in a rough way. Sometimes only one choice will match in that rough way, and that's it. You're done. Don't worry about it. Just move on. Spend the time on the questions where we have some more trouble. We have maybe multiple answer choices that pass through that first filter.